Math Minute 47. Problem 1 tells us to figure out how many hours and minutes would be 132 minutes. Well, I'm going to start by writing down that 1 hour equals 60 minutes. So that means that 2 hours would equal 120 minutes. And then I want to figure out, well, how many minutes are left over once I get to 2 hours. So I'm going to put the 2 there. So now to figure out how many minutes are left over, I'm going to subtract. I'm going to go 132 minus 120. When I do that, I get 12. So that's how many minutes there are past 2 hours. So 132 minutes would be 2 hours and 12 minutes. Number 2, what percent must category A be equal to? Well, the whole circle equals 100%. So to figure out what percentage A is, I'm going to subtract the other 3 percentages from 100. So I'm going to go 100 minus 40 minus 20 minus 10. And whatever that is going to be what percentage A is. Well, 100 minus 40 would be 60. 60 minus 20 would be 40. And 40 minus 10 would be 30. So that means that A has to equal 30%. And when I add these all together now, I would get 100. Because the entire circle would be 100%. Which two categories make up 50% of the graph? Well, B and D, because if I add 40 and 10 together, I get 50. And then the other two categories that, if I put them together, would be A and C, because 30 plus 20 would be 50. If these were grades on a recent test in the majority of the class, well, 70% got A's or B's, which is really good. So we would say that the majority of students that took this passed. Number 5, we're multiplying fractions, and then we're going to add them. So let's multiply them first. That's what these brackets mean. They mean multiply. So I got 1/3 times 1/4. Remember the rule when you're multiplying fractions is just go straight across. So 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 4 is 12. Now I'm going to do the other two fractions. So I got 2/3 times 3/4. Multiply across. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 4 is 12. So now I'm just going to add those together. So 1/12 plus 6/12. Now the nice thing here is the bottom number is the same, the denominator, so that's going to stay at 12. Then I just add the top. 1 plus 6 is 7. So my answer is going to be 7/12 when I multiply those fractions and then add them. 6 through 10, we're matching the word with the correct definition. So perpendicular lines are lines that connect and form a 90-degree angle or a right angle. So if I look over here, 2 lines that intersect at right angles is what we want. So that's going to go to C. Parallel lines look like this. They're evenly spaced apart, and they never touch each other. So we would say that 2 lines that never intersect and are spaced equally apart. So 7 is going to go with B. Diameter is, if you have a circle, the line that goes all the way across the circle. So the diameter is going to be d, the distance across the circle through its center. A prime number only has two factors, one in itself. So that's going to be a number that can only be divided by one in itself. And then composite has more than two factors. So that's going to be E, a number having other factors besides one in itself. And that concludes Math Minute 47.